When applied load P exceeds this Euler load PE, the column buckles. Now this is the expression for Euler's buckling load when both the ends of the column are hinged as shown in the figure. Now for different end condition, like for the second case, when both ends of column are fixed as shown in the figure. So when we apply the Euler's theory, for this case we get the expression for Euler's crippling load PE as 4 pi square EI upon L square. So we can write this PE as pi square EI upon L square by 4. And for the third case of end condition, when your one end is fixed and other end hinged as shown in the figure, where your bottom end is fixed and the top end is hinged, the expression for Euler's crippling load or buckling load comes out to be pi square EI upon L square by 2. Whereas for the fourth and the last case of end condition, that is when one end is fixed, that is at the bottom, and the other end is free, like shown at the top, the Euler's crippling load or buckling load comes out to be PE is equal to pi square EI upon 4 L square. So in this table we summarize the Euler's crippling load or buckling load for different end conditions of the column, and these are the expressions for the Euler's crippling load. We see that in all the expressions the numerator is common, which is pi square EI, whereas in the denominator we have different terms containing your length L and some constants. So we generalize this Euler's crippling load formula by means of expression PE equal to pi square EI upon L equivalent square, where this L equivalent term takes care of different kinds of end conditions. This equivalent length is defined as the length of column with the particular end condition which gives the same crippling load PE when both ends of column are hinged. So we define this equivalent length of column for all these end conditions. So first, when both ends of columns are hinged, your equivalent length L EQ is same as that of L. For second condition, when both ends of column are fixed, your equivalent length is equal to L by 2. Third, when one end of column is fixed and other end hinged, your L equivalent is L by root 2. And for the fourth and final end condition, when one end is fixed and the other end free, your equivalent length is 2L. So when we write the Euler's crippling load equation by using this equation, where we substitute the L equivalent for a particular end condition, we get this relation. Now let us discuss the scope or applicability of this Euler's crippling load formula. Now we know we have derived Euler's formula by taking some assumptions, but in the real columns, due to imperfection in column straightness and eccentricity in application of load, the columns deforms or deflects even before Euler's crippling load PE is reached. Now as a result, the bending stress becomes criteria of failure rather than buckling. Now, the critical stress in column at the onset of buckling is given as sigma C is equal to PE by A, where A is the cross-section area of column. Writing the expression for Euler's crippling load PE, we have sigma C is equal to pi square EI by L equivalent square upon A. Now we know that moment of inertia I of the column could be written as